These are now cheap, so they make great off-road toys. But what do you need to take them to an off-road event, and can you even do it yourself at home? Or do you need an IT degree just to even work on one? Welcome to Final Drive. Let's go and find out. This is Rob's Discovery 3, and Rob's not been off-road before, and I don't want the Discovery to let him down. So today, we're going to carry out a few choice modifications just to make this a little bit better when he goes off-road for the first time. You're really split into two categories when it comes to off-road modifications. Things that you need, and things that are just kind of nice to have. So we'll have a look today at which one's which, but should we start with something that you do actually need in the form of his wheels and tyres? A good set of wheels and tyres will be the most valuable thing you can buy for your 4x4. A completely standard vehicle on a good set of mud terrains or all terrains like we have here will go much further off-road than a modified vehicle on slicks would. Not only do they give you much better off-road performance, they also get you home again, as the sidewalls are much stronger on off-road tyres than they are on your standard road tyre. Okay, so spacers. Are they nice to have or are they necessary? I'd say they're probably nice to have, but they do actually serve a purpose off-road. Has he stopped messing around? I have no idea. I'm just trying to tell people about why we're fitting spacers to try. Do you want to know why we're fitting? Right, okay, I'll tell you why we're not fitting spacers though. Yeah, okay, so these are the wrong size. But right, the reason why you would is to obviously pull the wheel out quite a bit further, because when you're leaning this into a bank, the actual tyre will protect the bodywork. That's why you want spacers on it. That was really hard to do. Yeah, that's good. That'll now just pick the wheel straight up.
That travel I've got.
You don't need it. Ooh, it's getting more. See, every step you take, every move you make, you've got more of a swing.
Just put a little splash screen thing on there that says 45 minutes later. We'll still be here.
A few moments later.
Oh no.
Land down.
Did that hurt?
Oh,
Did it hurt? It's the floor because the jack handle cut out.
Did it hurt?
Oh, that looked painful. Okay, so snorkels. This one's a little bit more difficult. Do you need a snorkel or do you not? Some cars you really do, like the new Freelander over there. Yes, you do need a snorkel on that one, because if it sucks up any sort of water, it's going to just kill it. Something like this, it's more for peace of mind really, because on the Discovery 3 it gets its air through here, and if you're in water up to here, so are all of your carpets, your ECUs, any modules that are on the floor, because they're not watertight, especially not when they get to this age when your seals start to deteriorate. So a snorkel is good, but it's not the only thing you've got to worry about if you're going to wade up to this depth. So obviously step one, fitting a snorkel, you take your airbox out. We'll do a bit of a deeper dive on fitting the snorkel for you, because they're not the most obvious thing to do, unlike wheels and tyres, which are pretty obvious. If you can't do that, just down tools. Snorkel's a bit more technical, so we'll show you a bit more about it. But anyway, step one, let's remove the airbox. Why have they screwed on the airbox lid on a car that you are designed to take through the desert? Such a stupid idea. Rob was here. Rob was definitely here. This whole thing. Exactly. What do you mean, whole thing?
No, it should pull out.
Right, so here's obviously your original air intake that comes from your wing vent there. So we need to somehow connect that snorkel that we've got up from there to here. And I believe the snorkel hasn't come with any instructions, and I've not watched any videos. Rob has, but he's busy colouring in his tyres. So here he is. Do you know what to do?
That comes out. Don't make it goes on there.
So good on camera. That's good, a load of holes in the back of it.
That doesn't go back in. Do that? Yeah.
Special way you got to do it, is it? All right.
So childish.
Should I open the door, trap his fingers. Try and slide it up. I think it... There you go. That thing goes missing on everyone's.
So yeah, that is what needs to be cut out. So you get some masking tape, mark that out.
There must be a template for the wing.
Yeah, there is. So that'll go.
Yeah, that's the arch there, isn't it?
That, I guess.
Don't go there. It does go there. Little update of where we're at now. We've got all the templates on, and there's one on in the wing which is slightly annoying as well. This one here, you have to elongate this hole. Rob's actually just drawn it out, which is quite a good idea. The original template's here. But yeah, so we've got to drill all of these holes. There's a bracket that goes up here that holds it up. And obviously your vent holes behind there. Drill all these out. These are just to line it up with. And we'll just drill the holes and throw it on. Yeah, I've only got one place. I've missed that hole as well, bro. I have just discovered there are a few things more satisfying than drilling holes in the side of your mate's Land Rover. Like, for some reason, it's unbelievably satisfying. But these are quite easy. That, nightmare. Absolute nightmare, that bracket. As I'm sure you'll see on the internet. But, oh, don't even look at that. But, yeah, these brackets are an absolute pain because they're reinforced. It's like crash structure, all that sort of stuff. It's blunted and snapped every drill bit that we've had. These are obviously easy. Just template it all up and make sure you check it loads of times because you can only do this once. Luckily, if you do get it wrong, a black wing for one of these is probably 50 quid. But anyway, don't tell him that. We'll keep drilling holes in it. What's that? Hit you?
They're probably not fucking rattling loose.
Hang on. That there.
Yeah, stick that on there.
I've lined the back edge of this up with that vent for like no real reason.
Yeah, probably makes more sense.
But why though?
Hang on, let me just make sure that it goes over the...
Oh yeah, that's actually against the wing. Yeah, that's actually.
Oh, that's my fault
It will just about cover it.
What's happened, Chris?
The template doesn't line up with anything. That's pretty standard for snorkels, I'm led to believe. We put the template on exactly where it said to put it on, and now none of the bolt holes line up. So we're making the holes bigger, basically. So it wasn't going great. That was until I got distracted by the local wildlife mimicking office equipment. Someone printed something. Right, so we're at this point now where all the holes in that are drilled. This is a new, like, elbow, 90-degree elbow, basically, with a corrugated pipe running down the inner wing. There's a gasket that sits on here, and then it sits against the original airbox. However, if you are going to go wading, in the bottom of your original airbox, Rob's just sealed this one up, is a drain bung, effectively. The idea is it lets water out, but doesn't let any, like, water in. It's like a one-way valve. Goes into here. It's great for when it rains and stuff like that, but not great for when you're wading through water. So if you're going to actually seal it up properly, which you might as well if you're fitting this kit, seal up your drain bung. Top tip. Right, so let that dry actually before I put it in. I've got to put a gasket on there first. So, things were looking up. All you need to do now is questionably get your mate to help you with that bit, put it through the wing, take the inner arch liner out to put the nuts on the back of it, do all the nuts and bolts up on the bracket, order some rain, and hey presto, you've got yourself a snorkel. Right, so what we're doing now, we've done the wheels, tyres, snorkel, bits and pieces like that. I'm doing a little budget suspension lift. So what I'm going to do is with the Nanocom, I'm going to put an offset on the suspension to lift the car up probably 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Rob's just going to get a tape measure. We're going to measure from the centre of the wheel to the bottom of the wheel arch and then put an offset in it. Write down what you've done because it sort of resets it once you save it. And we should be able to give it like a standard lift. Fingers crossed it works like that. This is another thing that you're going to need, and I'd almost put this in the category of like needed, like necessary, is diagnostics equipment. If you're going to own one of these, and especially if you're going to take it off-road, take something like a Nanocom with you. You're most likely going to run into some sort of faults, engine management lights, suspension faults, something like that. The car's going to get upset, especially if it's the first time it's been off-road, and that can ruin your day, and it could mean it's coming home on like a low loader. So if you take something like a Nanocom with you, you can make sure that 9 times out of 10 you can clear the faults and get yourself home. If you want one of these, let me know. I can get you a discount code. It's usually about 10%, and it's worth chucking in the glove box. Yeah? Cool. All right. Well, let's go -20. Oh. What have we got now?
19.5.
19.5? Yeah. That'll do, that's 1.5 inches lift. I'll go another 5. So on here we've got a target, and obviously I've given it an offset. Up here I can change the offset, raise car or lower car, and it changes the target down here. So yeah, I've told it to target that, and now it's obviously lifted the car up to say that's now the new kind of 0, as it were. So, yeah. How's it looking now?
Yeah, it's pretty much 20.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so that's a 2-inch lift. Chuck it into off-road height. See what it does.
Yeah.
That should be off-road height now.
23-ish.
Yeah, it's 3-inch lift. My Discovery 2 with the 33-inch tyres, I've got a 4-inch lift. Yeah, I've basically just given it a cheeky little 2-inch lift on the Nanocom, which is the same as putting lift rods on it. That's what a lot of people sell, but they're like sort of 60, 70 quid, and you just basically, where the height sensor is, you put an extended rod on it. So to get it back to level, calm yourself, it has to go extra high. So putting an offset on it on the Nanocom is a cheaper way of doing it if you've got a Nanocom. But there we go, that looks better, doesn't it? I'd say that's done, wouldn't you? Yeah, it could do with some spaces. All right, listen, right, what happened with the spaces was I ordered them for a Discovery 2, not Discovery 3. So the spigot rings in the middle don't fit. That's my bad, I will change it. But there you go. Here's your key back, as if we've done all the work on it. We've done absolutely nothing really, but that now is ready for the woods. The very last bit of advice for today, and the absolute necessity, are rubber mats. They're cheap, you get them for your vehicle, and when you are at a pay and play site, which this is kind of designed to go to now, you'll be in and out of your vehicle all day watching other people get stuck, getting winched back out to get coffee, stuff like that. You don't want mud in your carpets. Put a set of mats in it, you'll thank me for it later. But that's about it really. Take a packed lunch, take the wife and kids, jump in your Land Rover and just go and have a good day out. I mean, if you do a couple of choice mods like the tyres on this and the raised air intake and your rubber mats and things like that, and obviously take a diagnostics equipment with you, you'll have a great day. Let us know if you go in and we'll come and join you. See you later. We haven't even left the car park yet and we've already... That is the one, mate. Look at it, look. What other car can you buy for 600 quid? It looks like that within 3 minutes. It's got 4 latches to get that roof off. Come on.
Racing driver.
Got to install it, so I'll put it right outside his house.
Oh!
We're off.
Can easy does it, Rob. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I stalled it in Silverlake.
When you're ready.
Oh. Yeah? Okay, so the reason why I say that these actually serve a purpose off-road, these are 30mm spacers, which obviously will push the wheel out 30mm. Something's going on behind me, innit? Fixed it. Looks cool. Right. I have no idea if you can see me. Right, I'm going for a start. Put a foot on the brake and turn the key. Ready? Oh my god, it's start! Yes! Yes! Come on! Come on! Come on! Yes! Calm. It's 11 o'clock at night. Calm. No way.